Come down to McDonald's today and try our $5 fries. Try just one and you'll want them all. McDonald's. Do. Please note $5 per fry.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and they're not loving it. The $5 meal deal that McDonald's rolled out in desperation after price gouging consumers across the United States and likely the world for the last 8 years has been rejected largely by the populace. And I think that it's indicative of people standing up for themselves. And I'm proud of people for saying, you know what? I don't want to pay $11 or $12 for your quarter pounder with cheese meal. I'm not going to reward you with my business for this $5 temporary deal. I think the fact that it's so temporary, people are just not impressed by it. They're saying, you know what, forget it. I'm done with fast food. People have gotten used to cooking at home. I've used a home meal delivery service. As soon as they pay me, I'm happy to shout them out. But there's lots of them out there, and they're all probably good. And, it costs me like $12 per person to cook actual good food at home. It costs me more to go to McDonald's than to cook at home. And you know what? I don't think that that's a bad thing. We're going to get on to the hilarious backfire of the $5 meal deal after this quick word from this video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Shout out to this video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Look, it's 2024. If you aren't using a VPN yet, you're completely missing out. And Private Internet Access is the one I use on all of my devices. If you've been following the news, you see that censorship, websites, apps are getting shut down in certain countries, all sorts of craziness. Well, a VPN helps you never have to worry about that. Private Internet Access also protects you from the prying eyes of hackers, internet service providers, and others that can view your personal data. Perhaps also just as importantly, Private Internet Access allows you to access region-restricted content from all over the world. Streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and more have different library options based on where you're located, and some shows simply cannot be accessed if you're not in the target location. Happens to me all the time. Many sports events also have regional blackouts. Well, VPNs can be a convenient way to make sure you're getting the content that you're paying for. Private Internet Access also allows you to protect an unlimited amount of devices all at the same time, so your entire household with a single subscription. And I've been working with Private Internet Access so long that I have an absolutely massive discount available to my viewers. Link in the description below. Get Private Internet Access today using my link. Save huge, protect your computers, access all the content that you've been paying for, and ensure that your internet is never censored. Now let's start. McDonald's new $5 meal deal isn't going as planned so far. After McDonald's flagged a concerning trend in the restaurant industry in which consumers are pulling back their spending on fast food due to pressures from inflation, it unveiled its new $5 meal deal. And let me just stop you right there, okay? Yes, inflation is real. Yes, inflation is increasing the cost of food. However, that's only part of the problem. That is not the entire problem. The part of the problem is inflation. But corporate greed, look at me going full communist here. Corporate greed is obviously another big part of the problem. They did not decide to cut their margins or, let's say, reduce their franchisee fee for the local restaurants to help offset the increase in cost of goods. They just passed the cost right on to the consumer and thought we'd pay $15 for a quarter pounder forever. It was only after there was a sudden influx of people reporting on the $18 Big Mac and this, that, and the other thing. Suddenly, McDonald's cared about their customers. They have been taking it to us since the lockdowns. The lockdowns in which our government said you couldn't go to the gym to work out, but McDonald's was a necessary service, I forget the terminology they use. So you could go to McDonald's, but not the gym. The promotion in which will only be available for a limited time allows consumer to purchase $5 meal that consists of a McChicken or a McDouble 4-piece chicken nugget, fries, and a drink. Now, with more than a month after the menu made its debut, McDonald's is reportedly failing to see any boost in foot traffic at its restaurants. According to BTIG analyst Peter Salah, who analyzes a series of franchisee checks conducted by his firm. Quote, We note that comparisons ease in July. I suppose people aren't going to McDonald's as much, with the current month impacted by the timing of the July 4th holiday and, of course, the hurricane in Texas. But the notes were obtained by Seeking Alpha. He also said it's, quote, a little early to know if the $5 menu item will drive profitable incremental traffic at McDonald's restaurants locations, and that he expects the promotion to extend despite the struggle with its $5 menu. He also revealed that in his note that McDonald's is currently experiencing soft but slightly positive sales growth. Ahead of the $5 menu's debut, McDonald's CEO warned investors during an earnings call in April that consumers are pushing back against inflation. Again, it's not just inflation, it's also corporate greed. You know what I mean? Like, it's more than that. As I reflect on the first quarter of this year, it's clear that the broad-based consumer pressures persist around the world, said the CEO on earnings call. Consumers continue to be even more discriminating with every dollar that they spend as they face elevated prices in their day-to-day spending, which is putting pressure on the QSR industry. I don't know what that is. Quick serve restaurant, maybe? McDonald's is one of the many major fast food chains that have received backlash from consumers on social media for gradually increasing its prices. Well, it's like cable companies, right? Oh, sign up for $29.99, $29.95. And then after like 2 years, 2 years, it's suddenly $129. And you're like, wait, what? How'd this happen? And of course, the company has reportedly hiked its menu prices by more than 100% since 2014, which is more than 3 times the national rate of inflation, which is what I'm talking about. Like, this is not just an inflation thing, right? This is far more than just inflation. It's also greed. It's also greed enabled by the United States government that told Americans that that McDonald's was a necessary food for them, but going to the gym wasn't. And so, they got a bunch of more people addicted to fast food, right? Also, fast food fans share interesting theory on surging prices and blame DoorDash and Uber Eats for fueling increase. Well, I don't know if you're like me, but other than when I'm down here at the RNC, like, I don't order DoorDash or Uber Eats anymore because it's too expensive. Like, I understand the drivers aren't setting the prices. And when you talk to an Uber driver, they actually get a very small cut of what you're paying. But, after fees, after tip, I'm not paying $35 for an Arby's extra value meal. I could pay $27 at the restaurant. Anyway, fast food is becoming less and less affordable for Americans, with prices outpacing inflation. The cost of fast food rose 41% from 2017, while the consumer price index increased by only 35.9%. By the way, the CPI, which is that basket of goods that people generally buy, raising by 36% and then preceding it with the term only, is a shocking cope. Are you earning 36% more money than you were in 2018, 2017? Most people aren't, which means they have less money now, significantly less money. For example, the cost of 5 popular McDonald's items have skyrocketed nearly 150% since 2019. You can see these charts. McChicken's up 200%, medium french fry up 130%, Big Mac 88%, McNuggets 70%, cheeseburger 215%. One Reddit user specifically suspected that delivery services are at fault for the hiked fast food prices. They claim that high fast food delivery prices potentially primed consumers to pay more when dining at the chain. This is actually a good idea. This is fair, actually, right? You're used to saying, well, I tip $5. It costs me $5 delivery fee. I'm getting McDonald's and it costs me $13. Why don't I just go to McDonald's and pay $10? Meanwhile, the price of the actual meal was $6. That's actually a very smart thing to notice. Quote, my suspicion is that once fast food places realized how much people were willing to pay DoorDash and Uber Eats to deliver a Whopper, they realized that they had all been pretty severely, quote, underpricing their food. I wouldn't say they're underpricing it. As a general inflation after the coup gave them a chance to see how high they could really go before people said, okay, that's too much for a Whopper. Several other fast foodies agreed, labeling the speculation as an interesting theory and an insightful examination of what's happening. If people's $10 fast food order became $15 via the delivery app, they were already accepting that price, so they might be less adverse to $14 at the drive-thru window. even if they see themselves as, quote, losing convenience. Many fast food fans were furious about the theory, claiming high delivery costs didn't justify the spiked store prices. I don't think it justifies it either, but it is a possible reason. You know? If it costs $15 total, I can at least pass that off mentally as a convenience, said one customer about services. At the drive-thru window for a meal, though, get the F out, they blasted. Other consumers shared that they stopped eating fast food because of the hiked prices, with one claiming that the product just wasn't worth the price. Their product doesn't merit the price gouge that they want to capture. I'm hoping they just see general traffic decline by now. They begin. If I want a $14 burger and fries, I'll go to a bar and grill instead of McDonald's, is how only for McDonald's is now for only long road trip emergency stops for me. Price spikes are hitting consumers, not just eating out. Yeah, it's everywhere. But yeah, I 100% agree. McDonald's is like a last ditch effort for me now. You can go anywhere else, like a mid-tier chain, and get like a pretty decent burger and fry for almost the same price. That's why you're seeing places like Chili's and other places seeing increase in sales, is because people are saying like, if I'm going out, I'm not going to go fast food anymore because it's too expensive and it's too garbage. I think they just flew too high. They flew too close to the sun, and people just finally put their foot down and said, I'm not paying this. I'm not paying this for this garbage food. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.